Hey, what's up everyone? It's Brett Kingster, and look, I'm not gonna lie to any of you. I'm really lit up right now. So, anytime I lose or gain weight, I always get freaking boils, like underneath my abdomen region. And I'm not even sure whether or not you're supposed to pop them or not, because I see different conflicting reports online, but this one was very painful and very sensitive, so I had my wife Dawn go out to the store and pick me up a bottle of vodka. I asked her to get me a bottle of vodka. She winds up getting like the really souped up version of vodka. Yeah, like the 50 proof. And so I drank half a bottle of that and popped my boil, and now I'm lit. The reason I gained weight, I'm hooked on these goddamn medicated Rice Krispies treats. I need to get off of that shit. But they're so goddamn good, and they keep you lit up for hours and hours, man. Imagine a Rice Krispies treat, one single square that you can have that will keep you lit up for 7 hours. And I know how to make that. That's the problem. I shouldn't have learned how to make that shit. Anyhow, I'm going to try to get my act together. I got to get my act together soon because I got to get everything ready for the dream project that I'm working on. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk about the UFC pay-per-view that was coming up. I have a channel that's just for sports, and whenever there's a big pay-per-view coming up or a series of big pay-per-views coming up, I feel remiss by not addressing it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give my predictions and my thoughts. I wanted to do a video where I'm comparing WWE with UFC. I'm not going to do it on this video though. But stay tuned for that, like if you're interested in both of those things. I just think I've come up with unique ways of looking at them that I haven't heard anyone else discuss. But anyhow, so tomorrow there's a UFC event coming on. It's not a pay-per-view. It's a UFC on Fox type deal. So if you have cable, you'll be able to see it for free. And I guess I'm just going to run down. Tomorrow is Saturday, April 20th. I'm going to run down the UFC pay-per-views and cards coming up from now until UFC 162. But I'm not going to go over all the fights, just over the fighters that I think are interesting, like tomorrow. Alright, so the main event tomorrow should be Frank Mir versus Cromer. I don't know too much about this Cromer guy, aside from the fact that he was a Strikeforce guy. UFC ended up buying out Strikeforce. I know Cromer trains with Cain Velasquez, and I know they're really close friends to the point where Cromer doesn't want to fight Cain Velasquez ever, which I think is really stupid. If you're a UFC fighter, you fight anyone. I don't give a damn if it's your brother, your father, whoever. If that person's in your weight class, you fight them. That's your job. If you don't have that mentality, get the fuck out of MMA. It's ridiculous, man. MMA is a sport. Can you imagine a football team saying, "Oh, we're not going to play the Raiders. We're too good of friends." What the fuck? You fight anyone. You're a fighter. You're there to be the champion. And you should be personally offended by anyone else claiming to be the champion. Otherwise, you've got no business being in the goddamn cage. But anyhow, so tomorrow, the real main event is Mir versus Cromer. But UFC is not saying that's the main event. They're trying to save face and inflate their stupid lightweight championships, their flyweight championships, or whoever. Henderson is fighting Melendez. That's the fight that they're claiming to be the main event. Henderson beat Nate Diaz in their last fight, and Nate Diaz is fighting tomorrow too. So the only fight here worth talking about is the Mir-Cromer fight. And I'm going to do something that no one else is doing. Everyone else thinks that Mir is going to be a stepping stone for this clown. I'm predicting Mir to win. Frank Mir is no joke. He's a tactician that can pull off a submission from just about any angle. He tapped out Brock Lesnar in their first fight. And he's a cerebral fighter. If Frank Mir shows up at his best, he's going to ruin this Cromer guy. And I know the UFC is investing a lot in this Cromer guy. They want to make him the next big thing. But I think Frank Mir has a good chance of derailing that meteoric rise that the UFC hopes will take place. Next week, the 27th, There's a great card coming up on the 27th. I'm really looking forward to this. A lot of fights I want to see. Jones versus Sonnen is the main event there. I'm old and out of shape, but I think I would give John Jones a better fight than Chael Sonnen. Don't get me wrong, both of us would get our ass handed to us. But yeah, it's not even worth discussing. Jones is going to kill Sonnen, and any time he wants to kill him, really, it's up to Jones how long this fight will last. If he wants to finish him off in less than 2 minutes, then guess what? Sonnen's going to get finished off in less than 2 minutes. Chael's good for talking trash, but your mouth doesn't help you in the octagon. The other fight on that card is Bisping versus Blanchard, or whatever, but Bisping's my guy. I like Bisping. I think he got a raw deal with the whole Vitor Belfort thing. I think Vitor is a steroid freak that doesn't belong in the UFC, but whatever. I'm pulling for Bisping. I think he's going to win. One of my all-time favorite UFC fighters is also fighting on that card, Roy Big Country Nelson versus Congo. Shit, that should be good. I love Roy Nelson. I could watch Roy Nelson do anything. That's how entertained I am by Roy Nelson. So I'm hoping for Roy Nelson. Congo definitely has a good shot. He's no punk, but I'm pulling for Big Country on that one. May 18th, Vitor Belfort's fighting some guy named Rockhold, who I've never heard of. Will probably be an easy win for Vitor Belfort. And it's on FX, so it's a free fight, obviously, because there's nothing else on that card worth giving a damn about. As I'm scanning it, yeah, there's no-name fighters all over that card. UFC 160 is a pretty decent card. Velasquez versus Silva. That's going to be a waste of time. Kane will devour Silva easily. Silva is not good. Bigfoot Silva sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's definitely one of the upper echelon fighters. But when he beat Alistair Overeem, that was just because Alistair Overeem was being a cocky idiot. Under normal circumstances, Alistair Overeem will kill Silva. And if they rematch, look for Alistair Overeem to kill Silva. You know, it's going to be an entertaining fight to watch, but Kane is going to easily pick up the victory there. Junior Dos Santos versus Mike Hunt. I'm going with Dos Santos. Just barely, man. Dos Santos showed a lot of chinks in his armor during his last fight with Cain Velasquez. I think Dos Santos just happened to be lucky in their first fight when he won, although he did beat Frank Mir, and Frank Mir, again, is no joke. But I don't know, I just think Junior Dos Santos' time has come and gone, and I think he's going to be a mid-carder. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Nogueira's fighting on the 8th of June, which is fighting some guy named Weirdum, who I don't know. So I'm going to go for Nogueira on that one. Does he have 2 fights coming up? Freaking Nogueira's a machine, man. He's fighting again January 8th. Then he's fighting again on June 15th against Shogun. That's a tough one to pick. Nogueira, Shogun. I go with... shit. I don't know. Really, I don't know. I want Nogueira to win, but Shogun will probably take him. If you're betting, go with Shogun. That's my advice. Evans versus Henderson. Both of them have turned into lame fighters who are not exciting to watch. I don't give a damn about that fight. Probably Evans will win, but look for it to be a boring fight that's not worth your money. Don't pay for that fight. And Jake Shields is fighting Woodley. Shields has really been in the crapper as of late. As of long, to be honest. His career has been shit since he's been in the UFC. We'll see if he can fix himself up. I'm going to give the nod to Jake Shields. And lastly, Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman. I don't even need to say anything here, do I? Anderson Silva is going to destroy this kid without even trying. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people talking about, oh, this guy's got the style that's too hardcore for Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is not in this realm. Do you understand? He can shift dimensions. He's in the freaking Matrix, this guy. He does things to people that defy the physical laws of reality that we understand them to be. So yeah, an easy win for Silva. Liebman's on that card too. He's fighting Craig. I don't know who's going to win, but Liebman always puts on a good fight. So that should be an interesting card to watch. And there you have it. All I have to say in wrapping this up is subscribe to my channels. And if you're an entertainer of any sort, or you have a website that's made to entertain people, contact me. I'll let you know about the Dream Project, see if you want to be a part of it. Or if you have a website where you sell unique items, drop me a line anyhow, and we'll see if I can't help you out or not once I get my act together and I focus on my work instead of these damn Rice Krispies treats that I'm addicted to. Subscribe, hook me up with a beer with the PayPal if you would be so kind. You enjoy my programming. Peace.